Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me, except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Maps come with me. No. When do we start?
I thought that was your countdown. I thought you were just going to actually start the show yourself.
No, I was just
gonna
counting. Yeah,
flip me off for 5 consecutive seconds so I could get background noise.
Yep.
Then you just point at me like, start the show.
Get it going, baby.
Hey,
Let's roll.
Welcome to the show where we talk comic books and comic book movies and comic book TV shows.
It's been almost 2.5 years, and this is the best open we can come up
I
with.
don't know, man. Well, we're gonna get a nice little boost tonight, so I want to open it up to people, let them know what we're about.
Oh,
Every time we do a Batman the Animated Series episode, we get a little numbers boost.
yeah. Well, it's good for us. Bravo.
So if you don't like those episodes, they're gonna be more. I don't know what to tell you.
Or it's going to be turned into a Batman the animated series Requiem.
I mean, we got a lot to still go through.
Yeah, I think this is what our 5th or 6th one.
I don't even know. Maybe not that. Yeah, maybe. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah,
Look, we've done a couple. We're gonna do a couple more,
that's smart marketing on your part. Give the people what they want.
little at a time.
Yeah.
Really stretch it out.
Mm.
Hey, if you're in the Midwest, sorry.
Yeah. Wow. That's negative 66 wind chill in parts of Minnesota yesterday.
I know. I thought I'd allow this moment to be Jared Richmond, junior meteorologist,
Yes. It's cold.
cub meteorologist.
Stay inside.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, did you see in Chicago they were having to set the railroad tracks on fire so they could move the switches and run trains?
Wow. No,
Yeah,
jeez.
it's ridiculous. And that cold's coming to Maine, baby.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of setting things on fire,
The polar vortex.
let's burn this mother down and get into the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Oh, also, you're sick this week.
Yeah, I know.
You took my cold.
I did take your cold.
That pre-show kiss. It did you in.
Yeah, thanks, asshole.
Oh, breaking news today. It's not going to be breaking by the time it comes out. But the Batman has some news. So
Oh.
much news.
Yes.
Matt Reeves, the Batman. He did an interview with Deadline, I think.
Dateline?
Deadline.
Oh, Dateline. Not like Dateline to Catch a Predator?
No.
Okay.
I mean, Batman does catch predators.
He does. Maybe Chris Hansen is Batman.
Didn't he just get arrested for something?
I don't know.
Pretty sure.
Well, you talk. I'll look that up.
But this is the breaking news. But whatever, he was talking about stuff we already kind of knew. Unclear if it's connected to the other movies. He's like, right now DC just wants to focus on making good movies. Like, Aquaman was kind of by itself, and that was a good one. And the Joker that's coming up is kind of by itself, and I'm doing a Batman. And it's going to be all about Batman being a detective, which I'm all about because we've never seen that. And that's what I want to see from the world's greatest detective is actual detecting.
Ooh. Yeah, he did just get arrested. $13,000 in bounced checks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. So not like catching a predator, which is good.
No, just catching somebody that didn't have money.
Sad. But something that wasn't brought up in the interview is anything about Ben Affleck.
Really?
And then later today, or yesterday, or 2 days ago, depending on when you're listening to this, former Batman himself, Ben Affleck, tweeted out that he is not a part of this movie.
Really?
He's done.
no more Batfleck?
He did 2 terrible movies and he's done.
He lasted longer than George Clooney.
What's crazy is because he put it up on Twitter and I was scrolling through it and everyone was like, no, why? I'm like, because they were bad movies and he probably got tired of people screaming at him all the time.
So as it stands right now, the only person to play Batman in 3 movies is Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, no, because he had that cameo in Suicide Squad, so he got 3, technically.
Where he's the focal point of the movie.
I mean, he punched a woman in the face, so that was fun.
Oh, he did speak in the movie.
Yeah.
He did have a line, "Not in front of your daughter."
Actually, I like that little bit, but oh well.
I thought it was good.
Of a pretty not good movie.
Eh.
But whatever, he's out. Is this movie connected to anything? Who knows? Is there any kind of plan for these movies? Probably not. It all seems to be a crapshoot right now. But new young Batman's coming in. Who's he going to be? Who the hell cares right now, I guess, until,
Idris Elba.
No, it's not a younger Batman. It's the same age.
Didn't we talk about this? Who we thought would be a good Batman?
I threw out the guy from White Collar, whatever his name is.
What about Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I'd like to see? Maybe they explore some Terry McGinnis stuff. Why does it have to be
They
Bruce
might.
Wayne? Why not give us Terry McGinnis? Yeah.
One day I'm sure it'll happen.
This is how you bring back Keaton. Bring back Keaton to start the Terry McGinnis story arcs.
That would be the hook for people.
Yes.
People would burn the place down if it wasn't him.
How cool would that be, though? I would watch that movie.
I mean, Christ, if you're doing that, I'd have Conroy do it. I mean, he's a pretty in shape man. If you
Yeah,
just
but there's
gray
something
him
about
up.
like
I know.
bringing back Keaton, baby.
Hey, speaking of DC movies, which may or may not have good news, I think the Batman stuff is all good news.
Yeah.
Affleck did not care in Justice League. He definitely cared in Batman v Superman, but Justice League was...
Well, Affleck had a lot going on too.
yeah, because he was
I
drunk.
called him Affleck. Whatever.
Affleck?
This
We don't need to
damn-
talk about him anymore because he's gone.
This damned cold.
One of the actors from the Joker movie, Zazie Beetz. She was Domino in Deadpool 2. She's in it, and she said that the movie was completely rewritten, including like the night before they would just go and rewrite scenes and do them the next day, which, boy, that inspires confidence.
Well, that's also how Iron Man 1 was done. They were writing
Yeah,
Iron
that's
Man
true.
1 on the fly.
That's true. There you go.
Thank you.
But they said, or she said, that the reason they were trying to like get as much coverage on everything as possible is because Joaquin Phoenix was so thin for the movie. They couldn't go back and do reshoots of slimming him down.
Ah.
I mean, you can take away a man's mustache, not convincingly, but you can't take off 10 pounds.
Not very easily. Put the man through a friggin' weight cut.
Suicide Squad had a 20-second trailer saying that there was going to be a trailer coming soon, and we got a real good look at Margot Robbie.
Oh, wow.
Back as Harley Quinn, looks about the same.
Yeah.
She's wearing a dog tag this time instead of just a dog collar, so...
She's got more bangs. Got more bangs with the hair.
There was one person in there, I'm not sure who they're supposed to be, had a cast on it, was trying to decipher if there were any hidden messages. It just said, like, Gotham and asshole and things like that.
Wow. Pretty straightforward.
Quick flashes of Ewan McGregor as Black Mask, but he was just Ewan McGregor. In one shot, he was Ewan McGregor in Aviators.
It could
You
be
know,
any-
like
yeah.
a black mask.
Ah.
You know how those aviators are black masks?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
I'm very aware of that. Painfully aware, actually.
Whatever.
Do you see The Rock has a new movie new movie trailer coming out on Friday?
For what? The Fast and Furious
yes.
thing? Oh. I haven't seen any of them since number 1.
Oh.
I don't know if I could catch up with whatever the intricate plots are.
I don't think there's much of it. They drive fast, there's cars, and lots of fights. That's my guess.
Yeah. I didn't show you this because you don't care. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. dropped its Season 6 trailer. Keep in mind, the show has been good for the last 2 seasons.
That's kind of bucking the trend of every other year.
And they wrote their Season 5 finale to be a potential series finale, and it definitely should have been.
So
including, spoilers, killing Coulson again.
So you're saying
But
this
hey,
could be
guess
bad?
who's back?
Coulson?
Oh, wow, what a surprise.
The man.
Oh, man, the most popular one there. They just couldn't keep him down, but it looks like he has amnesia, or maybe he's from an alternate reality or something, because he doesn't know what S.H.I.E.L.D. is, and Coulson's dead.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. I forget what the season is. It's like 10 or 13 episodes. They're keeping it tight. It's going to be in their best interest. I really wish the show just ended.
Fair.
Just not even because I dislike it at this point. I actually do enjoy it. Sure, it had a rough 3 seasons, but I'd just rather have it go out on a high note, and I feel trapped by it. Like, well, I've seen this far. I forget what that's called. There's an actual name for that. For like TV viewers that are just like, I've invested this much time. I'm just going to ride it out.
Dedication. Masochism.
Yeah, it's probably more that one. I'm, like,
Okay.
I'm not dedicated, but I am a masochist.
Intrigued.
No, I wanted to die.
Sadism.
Bad news for comic books.
Uh-oh.
DC laid off 3% of its staff and is in the middle of a restructuring.
That's never good. Corporate restructuring isn't good for people outside of the top of the company.
Well, it's weird. This is like their 3rd restructuring in like the last, I want to say year, but let's say a year and a half.
Maybe
to
they
be
can
generous.
restructure their movie division.
That's part of it. They've restructured that twice now, I think.
Oh, maybe if you got a little like consistency.
I mean, that's not a good sign. And, you know, you have people screaming, it's the death of comics, and blah, blah, blah. It's probably not, but, you know, still laying off 3% of your workforce isn't good for those workers, and it's always sad to see.
No, it's also not good for your company, period. End of story.
Into the Spider-Verse. That was a movie.
It was.
It's a good movie.
It's a very good movie.
It was revealed this week that there was almost a scene with all 3 live-action Spider-Men,
Really?
but they decided to cut it. But they didn't say if it would have been animated or if it actually would have been live-action.
That would have been kind of cool.
I mean, animated seems easier, because if it's just one scene, like a funny cameo, just get them to call in over the phone. It's a day, not even.
Or yeah, just...
And you walk away with tens of thousands.
Yeah, exactly.
But they said they cut the scene out and never even really pursued it all that hard. But considering how well that movie did, I bet we'll get something in the next one, because they're definitely doing a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've already announced that. It's not a surprise. But considering how well that movie did, why not get yourself into people's good graces with, you know, an afternoon's work?
Exactly. Not only that, I mean, that's easy.
That
Easy
goodwill,
money.
yeah. And, I mean, that's goodwill that will, you know, coast for a couple of years. Or if it's like, well, we could get 2 out of them, but Garfield said no. I don't know why I picked him. I just did.
Yeah.
Probably be McGuire who would say no.
I don't know. You could, you know,
He
that'd
seems
be
to
an
be
easy
generally
paycheck.
unlikable.
Yeah, I'd love to see a scene with all 3 of the live action Spider-Man together.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to get more than a cameo, but
That's fine.
why not? It's
Especially if you're going to explore like the quantum realm and multiverses. Why not?
yeah, throw in a thing where it's just
I mean, they paid homage to it in the beginning of the movie.
yeah, and there's a thing in comics where you can't. I'm not sure what the legal ins and outs are, but you can't show like movie accurate costumes in comics, like if they've been designed for a movie. In the first Spider-Verse crossover, it was like this big like claim, like we're gonna have every version of Spider-Man that's ever been, no matter what. So there's this one panel where two Spider-Men are like pointing, they're going, "Hey, isn't that the guy from Seabiscuit?" And the other one's like, "Yeah, and that's the guy from an Andrew Garfield movie that I can't remember."
Oh, okay.
But I mean, that was as close as I could get to including them.
Yeah.
Why am I throwing this in there? Just to have some comic news, I guess.
Okay.
X-O Manowar. Valiant title. Everyone loves it. They love it so much it's getting canceled and relaunched by the end of the year.
So they're hitting the reset, the hard reset.
I guess. I don't know. I don't read the book. I just wanted to throw it out there. If you want to jump on X-O Manowar, this is the year, baby.
Valiant.
My wife was watching, what's the name of that called? Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And they had, it's a Netflix show.
Oh, okay.
Tina Fey did it.
Oh, okay.
But there's a spinner rack in there and it's filled with nothing but Valiant comics. I'm like, that's weird.
Is
You
that
never
exist?
see that.
So it is fiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll never get of just Valiant books. In like a grocery store. I'm like, oh yeah, all those hot Valiant grocery items.
How many Valiant books do you have in the shop?
I don't know. I carry most of their titles.
Oh, just the ones that are ordered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that popular of a company.
Yeah, fair enough. But X-O Manowar coming out.
Hey,
Anew.
I got some old 90s back issues of it if you want them.
Ooh.
They're not that exciting.
Are they in the quarter bin?
No, some of the early ones sell better than that.
Oh, okay.
They're like $20.
Ooh, okay. That's a lot more than a quarter.
Yeah.
1975 more.
Good math.
Thank you. I could go into business myself.
Yeah, but then how much do you lose if someone pays with a credit card?
Depends on the company you're going through.
Yeah. All right, that's it. That's it for the news around pop culture.
I read an interesting article the other day.
Maybe not.
Okay. That there may be a lot of parallels between Star Trek: The Next Generation season finale and Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And that there's some of the action figures are coming out now with the Avengers in the quantum suits.
Yeah, toys spoil things sometimes, but yeah, if you got like different generations all interacting.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
and one of them, Tony Stark, is a grape farmer.
Well, yeah, exactly. And
Steve Rogers has a skunk haircut.
Yeah, and Vision has vision.
Has regular eyes. Did
Yeah.
he have regular eyes by the end? I don't remember.
Yes, he did. But no, I mean, they've talked about there might be some parallels because Kevin Feige is a huge Star Trek: The Next Generation fan. And
Oh, there's also Star Trek: The Next Generation news today. I forgot. We're just going to keep rolling with the news.
Yes.
Oh, Patrick Stewart said he was just talking about why he took the job for the CBS All Access thing, and I missed a total other story. My God, the news is just going to keep rolling. It's the CBS All Access portion of the news.
All right.
But Patrick Stewart said he's basically turned down picking up the role of Picard a ton of times since Nemesis. But he did this one. He's basically it's like I took the meeting to go politely tell them no. They said he liked the take that they were doing, and after they sent him some treatments or whatnot.
Well, yeah, we had talked about that.
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
past,
it's
but-
nothing real new, but it's just seeing that he's on board and he's teasing a bit.
Yeah,
I'm curious what he turned down though,
that's very interesting.
because the marketing for Nemesis was saying that it's the
End of a generation. Yeah,
final
the final voyage.
yeah something. I mean, they marketed it as the end.
Well, they also talked about maybe he's not on a starship.
Yeah. Oh, he did say it's not going to be like what we saw in the future of the Next Generation finale, where he is a farmer.
Yeah.
So he won't be just farming.
Well, just remember the future isn't written. He talks about that.
And then one more bit of news: CBS All Access will be doing a The Stand miniseries, a 10-parter.
Really?
Yeah, they did one of these in the 90s.
Yes, they did with Gary Sinise and who else was it? Who played Randall Flagg? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I watched it maybe 5 years ago.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's decent enough.
It's the best of the Stephen King. Well, that and Storm of the Century. You ever watch Storm of the Century? It was like a two-part.
I think he did the screenplay for that.
Yeah, it was his first direct to TV screenplay. There's no novelization of Storm of the Century. It's all screenplay.
Yeah.
That movie freaked me. Like when you saw it on TV, I think when I first saw it, it was actually like snowing out, so it freaked me out even more.
I mean, yeah, Stan's a hell of a lot of fun. If you put some real money behind it, I mean, that's part of why the one of the 90s didn't work, is you just couldn't do everything.
That's why the Langoliers was the.
Yeah, that's no good.
When the Langoliers come, they're not really well rendered. They're kind of weird.
Yeah, The Stand's not bad, though. It's totally watchable. The book's, it's super long. It's one of those, 1,000-page books.
It's like his magnum opus.
That's more the Dark Tower.
Well, true, I guess. But it's like one
Yeah,
piece.
I mean, if you haven't read it, it's great, but that's not really,
It's
one of the most popular books of all time, so hot take.
a fat book too.
It is. Oh boy, yeah, you can.
How long did it take you to read that?
I don't remember. I haven't read it in a number of years.
A long time. It took you a number of years to read it.
But whatever, I'm all about it. We'll see how much of it they can actually include, because some of it's also not super appropriate for television, even if it is like paying for a streaming service. All right, I think that's the actual end of the news.
All right.
Now that we've tacked on an extra 3 things. I'm good at reading my own notes.
Yes.
From there, it's time to move on to Jared's sports reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare-chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
Nothing's happening. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a boring,
Nah,
boring
nothing
weekend.
exciting in New England. The Patriots in the Super Bowl. Not a whole lot of news coming out of Atlanta. Nothing really out of the ordinary except for...
How's the weather looking?
It's in a dome.
Cub
It's
meteorologist.
in a dome,
Okay.
so it doesn't matter. It was cold. I guess it snowed there the other day. I mean, the couple of the big stories. Tom Brady says even if they win this game, the chances of him retiring are 0.
Oh, jeez.
So he still intends to play into his mid-40s. Robert Kraft has said something similar to the effect. There's even talk that maybe Gronk might not even retire after this year if they win it. The one name that's kind of been floated around and almost certain to retire if they do win the Super Bowl is Devin McCourty. He's one of the safeties. He and his brother Jason are playing together on the team. Jason had played in Tennessee with the Titans and whatnot. So he was quoted as saying if they win this game, he'll probably retire because it's hard to top winning the Super Bowl with your brother. So
Yeah.
but nope, that game kicks off on Sunday, and I think the Patriots will win this one. I think it's going to be like
All right, let's get a prediction.
34-21.
All right, there we go.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of those. It's going to be very similar to their last couple playoff games. They're going to get out to a hot start. I think LA will make a run. It may even be like 34-28, something like that. But the Patriots win by their largest margin in a Super Bowl ever, and they get ring number 6.
In your world, they just never get worse. They just get continually better.
I don't think it's my world. I think it's a sad reality for the rest of the NFL. I'm hoping that this one will be less anxiety-inducing than the last several they've been in.
I can't wait to watch Twitter where everyone just screams at the Patriots.
Yeah, that'd be good. Oh my God, they won again! This is terrible.
Everyone would be yelling well before that.
Yes, but I mean, they just keep finding ways.
This is how we lose people. He talks about the Patriots a lot. Bah.
Well, I mean, after the Patriots, then we can talk more other things,
Yeah,
more other sports. NASCAR's around the corner.
cool.
And I mean, the Celtics are just in the middle of the grind.
Yeah, well, 6 out of the last, let's say 7 out of the last 8.
Yeah, they're
Game isn't done yet.
no, but I think they're up by 30 or 40, so I think it's safe to say.
They lost to Golden State, but only in the last 40 seconds.
Yeah, that was a good game. Nice back and forth game.
It was tied.
I really don't get locked into the Celtics till probably late February, early March, just because I'm in the middle of my own basketball season. I have enough spinning plates to manage that I kind of casually follow them. I'm not watching every game like you do. Like you're locked in and focused.
All-Star game was announced, or all the starters were. None of them were big surprises. Kemba Walker was the only one that kind of threw me a little bit. But I mean, he's great, so it's not that big of a shock.
He scored like 28, 30 points tonight. So
Yeah. Kyrie's a captain. That's good.
Shocking.
Anthony Davis has requested a trade.
Shocking.
I mean, 10 days. He did it 10 days before the trade deadline. But do the Pelicans just sit on it and wait till July and see what all offers are, or do they try and do something now?
Depends on what the hit to the cap would be for them. And I can't remember if he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they might just sit on it unless they can get something of value or they can get somebody to absorb some of the contract.
Most people, I mean, it seems to be everyone's just like, it's going to be LA or Boston.
But
But Boston can't do
Boston
anything
can't do
until July.
anything because of, I can't remember, I think it's the Rose rule or something like that, where
Yeah, whatever it is.
it has a lot to do with Kyrie until Kyrie is on contract, like on a different contract or something like that. So,
But we'll see. I mean, trade deadline's coming up next week. So
yeah.
it's going to just be the next week. No one will talk about anything else. And then if it doesn't happen, then get ready for another, 5 months of that. Where's Anthony Davis going?
I think there'll be other stuff before that, like, can LeBron bring the Lakers to the finals? Who can beat Golden State? Like, those are going to be more important storylines than, where Anthony Davis is going to end up.
I mean, Golden State will go to the finals.
Yeah, probably.
There we go.
I wouldn't mind
Can
watching.
LeBron do it? No,
probably not.
not this season. But if they get Anthony Davis,
Yeah, that might help. It certainly can't hurt.
do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Hey, because Jared got weirdly fascinated with this one character that came up like in a news story months ago.
Man-Bat.
He couldn't wrap his head around it.
It's such a weird name. It's like the other guy, like Joe Bear or something like that.
It's not like Joe Bear.
What was the name of the Native American character that we had talked about a while ago?
I don't know.
Like Joe Starshooter or something like that.
James Proudstar, maybe?
Yes. Yeah. It's like when the comic book writers make like Native American characters, they have like this formula that they follow to create the name.
Forge. It's just his name. His name's Forge. There's a different one. All right, but whatever. We're moving on to talk about On Leather Wings.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
This episode, although not the first one to air, was the first one put into production, and if you get it on any DVD or Blu-ray, you'll always be the first one up because they have all those in the production order. Aired originally on September 15th, 1992, and is the first animated appearance of Man-Bat.
Yeah, he's Man-Bat.
Yeah, whatever. Start of the Batman animated series. Greatest cartoon that isn't The Simpsons. I threw my own addendum on there. What do you think? First episode ever.
I liked it. I was entertained by it. As I watched it, I was struck by a couple of things. Like, I really like how a lot of the animated series stuff, there's a lot of show, don't tell. There's not a lot of dialogue. Like, the fight scenes don't have corny dialogue in them. The music helps kind of tell the story of the fights and the action sequences.
Yeah, composed by Shirley Walker.
I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a little kind of hammy that the difference in voice between Bruce Wayne and Batman.
It's silly when you see him. I mean, you don't notice it as much when he's just, in the different personas, but when you see him throw on the Bruce Wayne voice while still wearing the cowl, it's like, ooh, they are different.
Yes.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I like
it's me, Bruce Wayne, partying billionaire.
I liked it early when Alfred's like, should I cancel your appointment with Bambi? Was her name?
This is a different Alfred voice. I didn't bother writing the names down, but I think this guy did 3 episodes before getting canned.
Oh, this is also like early on when Tim Curry was still the Joker.
Yeah. Something about speaking of the Joker, they said part of the reason they wanted to do Man-Bat is they wanted to kind of differentiate themselves from other things. Like, you would think that, first thing out of the gate, you'd do the Joker or someone more popular than Man-Bat. They just wanted to try and make themselves their own thing. So this is the first episode, and they don't bother doing the origin of Batman or anything. Something that's always bugged me about it is, I don't care that you don't get Batman's origin or any of that stuff, but the very first shot you get of Batman in the entire series is him just lounging in a chair in his Batman costume, drinking a cup of coffee, and reading a newspaper. It's not a very cinematic appearance. It's just a man in a chair.
Yeah, just chilling in the Batcave.
Reading a newspaper.
Yep. Oh, they're searching for us.
But that's just such a weak entrance to Batman.
Yeah. Well, also,
I like a lot of the episode, but boy, that's a weird choice.
It is a weird. Can we talk about the security guard who survived the fall into the river?
You got to do that.
Yeah.
Children's programming. You can't just have someone splat on a road.
Also, can we please point out the fact that, he could have drowned, but he survives that? I know you got to suspend the disbelief. Also, the chair, goes flying through the window and shatters the whole thing. That's some weak glass there at the chemical plant. Was it Phoenix Chemicals or Diamond Chemicals? Something like...
I think that was the thing, the A-Team gets made fun of a lot for. People will just, there'll be, a terrible explosion, then off screen they'll be like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Standards and practices.
Are you really okay? Yeah.
So what do you actually think about Man-Bat?
No real motivation.
Kirk.
Yeah, no real motivation behind him as a villain, and I mean, I wasn't that was an interesting kind of strange. I think it was how spoiler, Bruce cures him at the end. It's kind of well, it doesn't really give you anyone. He's not committing any crimes. He's just stealing chemicals to. I mean, I guess that's a crime, but to stay as a transforming Man-Bat thing. That doesn't. It's it's kind of like Mr. Jekyll and Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing. But I mean, I thought the fight sequence was kind of cool. They kind of circled back to the dudes in the blimp.
Yeah, one of the dudes in the blimp is Kevin Conroy.
Oh, okay.
Fun. But talking about that fight scene, so Batman ends up just grappling Man-Bat, and they're just spinning around the city. And I'm watching this fight scene, and I would put money on that there's never been a fight scene on film or anything else like that before that happened. Just the way the camera was kind of there's a couple of shots of like the camera's kind of mounted directly behind Batman. It's
Yeah.
just following them, like these angles that you couldn't do in live action at the time. CG didn't exist, and how many kind of action related animation things were out there like that? I'm gonna say that fight scene for the time was totally unheard of. There's a couple shots, especially it's like the mounted camera behind them just going in between steel girders like that. I guarantee that had never been done before.
No.
Not like that. That looked amazing. I mean, they clearly put a lot of like effort into the animation of this one, and then we've watched the next one or the one after that, I can't remember, of like, not that they ever get away from that, but there was a definite push to make it like something special compared to like 2 episodes later. The Joker shoots himself out of Arkham on a Christmas tree rocket. They're like,
But
Christmas tree rocket.
It could be kind of come more cost effective in mass producing episodes.
I love that fight. It's really visually amazing.
It's a really good fight. He ends up like slamming Man-Bat into a wall and breaks the concrete.
Doesn't kill the Man-Bat though.
No, it doesn't kill the Man-Bat. Batman actually like gets cut up, bleeds a little bit here.
There's a weird bait and switch of Man-Bat's a different guy.
Yes.
Turns out it's just a grumpy old man.
Yes. He's just kind of surly.
Lies to Bruce Wayne for some reason about
Bruce knows.
Bat hair
we have
follicles.
It's an incongruence. Yes, an incongruence.
I don't think it's the strongest as far as a villain goes. I think visually, this one's pretty spectacular. That's where it really shines more for me, is the visuals versus the story, which is fine. And you get the opposite of Batman.
No, I like the animation. I like the storytelling. I really like the action fight sequences where the music tells the story and there's not a lot of like pow, whap, bam, no real kind of that dry humor or like that bantering between, you know, the villain and the hero.
Yeah, thinking about the timing that this came out, you had the Batman 1989 movie, which we just watched. I didn't even realize we put those two so close together. But this clearly spun out of that. But I like that they don't really take that much from it. Like, there's enough visual hints. Like, the Batmobile is kind of similar, and Batman's costume is kind of similar. Like,
you get some overtures to Harvey Two-Face with the flipping of the coin.
Music is definitely, the theme is close.
The theme is very close. You also kind of get the
you in.
What's the crooked cop's name in the first Batman? Is it Eckert, I think?
Yeah, something like that.
So you kind of get that with the guy who asks for the special police task force to catch Batman. Also, like the special police task force, their like uniforms and their helmets, very untask forcey.
Oh, that was one of my favorite bits of this episode, because they'll
Very
get away
Keystone Cops,
where they show Batman as more of being fallible in this, like something you would never see later in the show, and certainly something you wouldn't see in a Batman movie today. Like, even for as terrible as Justice League was, like, they made a joke about how, like, you turn around and Batman just disappears.
Yeah.
In this, they turn around and they see Batman kind of just slowly running into an alley. He's like, they turned their heads. Ha ha, I'm away.
Yes, look at me go now.
It's such a weird shot.
Or like they set everything up with like the cops are so inept they throw in a smoke grenade into a room of explosives.
Yeah, whatever. It's a good time. Overall, I enjoy it.
I thought it was fun. I didn't hate it. I can see how it would kind of set things up for more success. And
I hear it's a good show. People should check it out.
What I liked about it too is it didn't need to rely on a known villain like Joker or Penguin or Riddler or Two-Face to like draw people in. I feel like it makes it you have to kind of earn that. Kind of come out with a who's this? And I also like that it wasn't like it wasn't really full of exposition. It wasn't like a world building episode like this is Gotham, this is Batman, Bruce Wayne's parents are dead, and this is
for the most part. I mean, there's not a lot of continuity in the show. You just kind of go from episode to episode, pick it up whenever, which is fun. I mean, there's a little bit of continuity, but overall, it's
yeah. But you get Commissioner Gordon in it, which is nice, and no bat signal. But there are some like overtures to some like when Man-Bat drags Batman up into the moon and back down. That's kind of similar, like an homage, I feel like, to the original Batman movie where the Batwing goes up into the moon and dips down.
All right, I guess that'll do it for that. I mean, it's a solid episode. It's worth checking out, definitely. I mean, most of them from this show are.
Yes.
I don't think we've done a bad one yet. They exist. But it's not a perfect show.
No, it's not. It's not like it's
just pretty solid.
Yes.
All right, from there, we are moving on to letters to the editors.
Lot of questions, number one. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
It was a weird news week in the world outside of comics. So this question was posed.
Okay.
If you were going to have a gaudy surprise back tattoo of someone's face, who would it be?
Interesting.
Just a random surprise tattoo that I don't think anyone was expecting.
How big? Is it taking up my whole back, or is it like a shoulder? Is it in the center of my back? Is it on my lower back?
Did you see the Roger Stone thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so about that size. Let's say a Nixon face size. I don't know.
Does it have to be a real person, or can it be...
No. Just anything that would just surprise someone, be like, oh, that's a thing.
Drew Bledsoe. You know why? Because no one would expect that.
Like, ride or die.
Yeah, exactly.
With Bledsoe.
Number 11, baby. Let's go.
I was thinking, like, I'd go with, like, 90s mullet Superman.
Ooh.
Like, oh, yeah, it's Superman.
What about Nick Cage Superman?
Someone was really excited about it.
Yeah.
Because you see that stuff now. Like, I remember when, like, the Star Wars trailer dropped, there was, like, a news story the next day of, like, someone got BB-8 tattooed on them. Like, the first Star Wars Episode 7 tattoo.
Here's one for you. What about Weird Al with glasses and mustache?
Yeah, why not? I mean, he doesn't age that much.
No, he
looks
not aged
about
that
the
much.
same.
Yeah. Dr. Demento.
That'd be a weird
with the top hat. Who else would be a weird face tattoo to get on your back? My own face.
A younger version. Didn't one of the guys from Jackass did that? I forget which one.
Steve-O?
Yeah, probably.
Steve-O has him on him.
All right. Jared's sick, so it's a shorter one tonight.
What? Is that it for, like, you don't have any other potential, like, faces you'd put on your back?
No.
Maybe get the store logo on your back. Constant advertising.
Put it on my car.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, if you like the show, please support us by going to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. $1 a month gets you the show a whole day early when I'm on time and don't have other things going on to prevent me from recording on time. Also, you get some Patreon-exclusive podcasts.
2 a month.
2 a month.
Buffy and Firefly non-spoiler and spoiler reviews. Anything else can be found at editorsnotecomics.com, and you're on the Twitter.
At Junior Rich.
Next week, we're back. Is it Valentine's Day yet? It might be a Valentine's Day show.
Not quite.
Well, we'll see then. We'll be back.
All right.
Bye.
Deuces.